The Game Boy Advance was a treasure for RPG lovers. Despite its compact size, the little handheld has had some of the most epic adventures you could experience. From turn-based classics to games with rich stories and immersive worlds, the GBA has given us some unforgettable RPGs. Today, let's check out the best RPG games for GBA. You know, these remakes of the original Pokémon Red and Blue are like a nostalgic trip with a fresh coat of paint. Pokémon FireRed and LeafGreen take you back to the Kanto region, where it all started, but with updated graphics, smoother mechanics, and a few added surprises. Catching all the original 151 Pokémon feels both familiar and exciting, especially with the new wireless adapter for trading and battling. Final Fantasy Tactics Advance is one of those games where strategy and story come together in such a satisfying way. It's set in the world of Ivalice, and while it's a bit different from the original Final Fantasy Tactics, it has its own unique charm. The job system is incredibly deep, allowing you to customize your characters to fit your playstyle perfectly. The Legend of Zelda, the Minish cap, is one of those hidden gems in the Zelda series that doesn't get enough love. The ability to shrink down to the size of the tiny peccary adds a whole new dimension to the classic Zelda gameplay. Exploring dungeons and solving puzzles from a miniature perspective feels fresh and creative, and the game's art style is just beautiful. Pokémon Emerald is like the ultimate version of the third-generation Pokémon games. It takes everything that was great about Ruby and Sapphire and polishes into a fine shine. The addition of the Battle Frontier gives you so much more to do after becoming the champion, and it's a real test of your Pokémon mastery. Fire Emblem on the GBA is where the series really started to make a name for itself outside of Japan. The blend of deep, tactical gameplay with a gripping narrative full of memorable characters is just unbeatable. Permadeath adds real stakes to every decision you make on the battlefield, making you carefully consider each move. Mario and Luigi's Superstar Saga is just pure joy from start to finish. The humor in this game is on point, with Mario and Luigi's goofy antics and the hilarious dialogue from the colorful cast of characters. The battle system is a fun twist on the traditional RPG formula, with timed button presses adding an extra layer of interactivity. The story takes you on a wild adventure through the Bing Bing Kingdom, with plenty of puzzles, minigames, and surprises along the way. Pokémon Ruby and Sapphire introduced so many new features that they felt like a real step forward for the series. The Hoenn region is full of diverse environments, from lush forests to scorching deserts, each with its own unique Pokémon to discover. The addition of double battles and abilities added a new layer of strategy to the gameplay, making battles more dynamic and interesting. Golden Sun: The Lost Age is one of those sequels that take everything good about the first game and makes it even better. The game picks up right where the first Golden Sun left off, but this time you're playing from the perspective of the previous game antagonists, which adds a cool twist to the story. The gene system is back, allowing you to mix and match different elemental creatures to customize your character's abilities. Final Fantasy IV Advance brings one of the greatest RPGs of all time to the GBA, and it's just as epic as you remember. The story is a masterpiece with a huge cast of characters, each with their own backstory and motivation. The game's world is vast and full of secrets, from hidden towns to powerful spurs that can turn the tide of battle. Tales of Phantasia is a classic RPG that still holds up today, thanks to its engaging story and innovative combat system. The game's linear emotion battle systems lets you control your character in real time during battles, adding a level of excitement that turn-based systems just can't match. The story is full of twists and turns, with a memorable cast of characters and a rich world to explore. Dragon Quest III: The Seeds of Salvation on the GBA is a fantastic remake of one of the most beloved entries in the series. The game's job system lets you customize your party in countless ways, allowing you for a ton of replayability. The story, while simple, is timeless, taking you on a journey to save the world from a great evil. The game's world is vast and full of secrets, with hidden dungeons, powerful weapons, and challenging bosses waiting to be discovered. Sword of Mana is a beautiful action RPG that combines a heartfelt story with a fast-paced combat. The game is a remake of the original Seiken Densetsu, also known as Final Fantasy Adventure, and he updates the graphics, music, and gameplay for a new generation. The story is full of emotion, with themes of love, loss, and the struggle between good and evil. Fire Emblem The Sacred Stones is one of those games that hooks you with its deep strategy and keeps you coming back with its engaging story and character development. This entry in the Fire Emblem series is a bit more accessible than its predecessors, with the introduction of a world map that allows for some light grinding between story missions. The branching class system is fantastic, giving you the option to customize your units in ways that suit your playstyle. Each character has their own backstory and personality, which adds depth to the game and makes you care about their survival. Breath of Fire 2 on the GBA is a classic RPG experience that stands the test of time with its deep story and memorable characters. The game starts off with a mysterious and somewhat dark tone, as you take on the role of Rio, a boy who finds himself embroiled in a quest that uncovers hidden secrets about his past and the world around him. Lunar Legend is a reimagining of the classic Lunar Silver Star story, and it's a perfect fit for the GBA. The game tells a timeless tale of adventure, love, and destiny, with charming characters that you'll quickly grow attached to. The combat is turn-based, with a few unique twists like the ability to move your characters around the battlefield to maximize your attacks and minimize damage. Shining Force Resurrection of the Dark Dragon is a brilliant remake of the original Shining Force, bringing the classic tactical RPG to the GBA with updated graphics, expanded story elements, and refined gameplay. The game's turn-based combat is simple to learn but offers plenty of depth as you build your team of unique characters, each with their own abilities and roles on the battlefield. Phantasy Star Collection on the GBA is like having a piece of RPG story in your pocket. This collection includes Phantasy Star 2, and Phantasy Star 3, each offering a unique blend of science fiction and fantasy elements. These games were pioneers in the RPG genre, with complex stories, expansive worlds, and challenging gameplay. Tactics Ogre, the Knight of Lodis, is a tactical RPG that draws you in with its deep strategy and keeps you hooked with its rich, branching storyline. The game takes place in the Ogre battle universe, and it's a prequel to the much-loved Tactics Ogre, Let Us Cling Together. The gameplay is all about careful planning and positioning, as you command a group of soldiers in grid-based battles where every move counts. Dragon Ball Z Bull's Fury is a fantastic action RPG that lets you relive the Bull saga with all the over-the-top action and drama you'd expect from Dragon Ball Z. The game combines fast-paced combat with RPG elements like leveling up, equipment, and skill upgrades, making for a satisfying experience whether you're a long-time fan of the series or new to the world of Dragon Ball. Harvest Moon Friends of Mineral Town is one of those games that's perfect when you just want to relax and unwind. It's all about building your farm, making friends with the townsfolk, and maybe even finding love along the way. The game is simple but incredibly addictive, with a charming art style and a laid-back pace that makes it easy to lose track of time. You spend your days planting crops, raising animals, and exploring the town, while the changing seasons and festivals add variety and keep things interesting. Summon Night Swordcraft Story is a unique blend of action RPG and crafting game that's both fun and addictive. You play as an apprenticed craft knight, tasked with forging weapons and battling your way through a series of dungeons to become the best in your craft. The game's combat is fast-paced and real-time, with a focus on using the right weapon for the job, whether it's a sword, spear, or axe. Pokémon Mystery Dungeon Red Rescue Team is a spin-off from the main Pokémon series, and it's got a completely different vibe that's both refreshing and challenging. Instead of being a Pokémon trainer, you actually become a Pokémon yourself, and you team up with other Pokémon to explore randomly generated dungeons. The game's story is surprisingly deep, touching on themes of friendship, courage, and self-discovery as you try to uncover the mystery of why you've been turned into a Pokémon. Riviera, the Promised Land, is an RPG that stands out with its unique blend of traditional gameplay and visual novel-style storytelling. The game's world is full of vibrant colors and detailed environments, and the story is rich with mythology, focusing on the battle between gods and demons. The combat system is turn-based but with a twist. You don't have complete control over your actions, adding a layer of strategy as you have to make the best use of the options available to you. Advance Wars is one of those games that perfectly blends strategy and accessibility, making it a joy to play whether you're new to the genre or a seasoned strategist. The game's colorful, cartoony art style might make you look simple, but the gameplay is anything but. Each mission requires careful planning and tactical thinking as you command different units, infantry, tanks, planes, in a bid to outmaneuver and outsmart your opponent. Mega Man Battle Network 3 is an action RPG that takes the classic Mega Man formula and gives it a fresh, modern twist. Instead of platforming, the game focuses on grid-based combat, where you use a combination of strategy and quick reflexes to defeat enemies. The story is set in a futuristic world where everything is connected to the internet, and you play as Lan and Snap Navi Megaman.exe as they battle viruses and uncover a conspiracy that threatens the world. Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance brings the classic Dungeons & Dragons experience to the GBA in a way that's both accessible and fun. The game is a hack-and-slash action RPG with fast-paced combat, a variety of weapons and spells, and a deep loot system that keeps you coming back for more. The story is a straightforward fantasy adventure with plenty of dangers to explore, monsters to slay, and treasures to uncover. Shining Soul 2 is an action RPG that's all about exploring dungeons, battling monsters, and collecting loot, with a few unique twists that make it a standout. The game's class system lets you choose from 8 different character types, each with their own strengths, weaknesses, and playstyles. The combat's fast and fluid, with a focus on using the right combination of skills and equipment to take down your enemies. Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers on the GBA is a surprisingly good adaptation of the movie, offering a blend of action and RPG elements that captures the epic feel of the films. You get to play as Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli, each with their own unique abilities and fighting styles, as you battle your way through iconic scenes from the movie. Breath of Fire on the GBA is a classic RPG that delivers a timeless story of adventure, magic, and destiny. The game follows Ryu, a young warrior with the power to transform into a dragon, as he embarks on a quest to save the world from an ancient evil. The combat is turn-based and straightforward, but what makes the game special is its deep story and memorable characters. Boktai 2 Solar Boy Django is one of those unique games that take a simple concept and turns it into something truly special. The game's main gimmick is the use of the GBA solar sensor, which means you have to play in sunlight to charge your weapons and solve puzzles. It sounds crazy, but it actually adds a whole new layer of strategy to the gameplay, as you have to think about how you manage your sunlight energy while battling vampires and other monsters. Kingdom Hearts Rechain of Memories is the GBA version of the game that bridges the gap between Kingdom Hearts and Kingdom Hearts 2, offering a unique twist on the series' traditional action RPG gameplay. The card-based battle system is at the core of the experience, requiring you to collect and manage a deck of cards that dictate your attacks, magic, and abilities in battle. It's a system that takes some getting used to, but once you master it, it adds a lot of depth and strategy to the combat. Shin Megami Tensei Devil Children is a unique blend of monster collecting and turn-based RPG gameplay that's both challenging and rewarding. The game is often compared to Pokémon, but it has a darker, more mature tone that sets it apart. You play as a devil child, a human with the ability to communicate with and control demons, as you try to save the world from a demonic invasion. Summon Knight Swordcraft Story 2 builds on the foundation of the first game, offering more of the fast-paced action and deep crafting system that made the original so fun. This time around, the story is more complex, with new characters and a deeper connection to the world of Summon Knight. The combat is as engaging as ever, with a focus on using the right weapon for each situation and mastering the game's unique battle mechanics. So, did you like the games I recommend? So leave your like, subscribe to the channel to follow me and activate the bell, because I post a lot of videos on this channel and you can't miss it. Thank you very much for following me this far, and until next time, bye!